Okay, that's fine. In the previous class, we discussed about what do you mean by media plan, and we also understood that the mode of the kind of mode we are going to use, like whether it's a broadcast media or a digital media or interactive media or support media or print media. So, and we also discussed about problems in media planning, what are difficulties are there. Even at the end, also I mentioned few more points of the under. Then we also discussed this developing the media plan. So market analysis must, and establishment of the media objective, media strategy, and implementation is required, and evaluation and follow up, which need to be done. These are the four steps are there in media development and implementation. Okay, so because all the information you could get only from the doing a market analysis. Okay, so that need to be done. And see the clarity of the objective, why you would like to have this advertisement objective, along with that the right kind of media objective. So media objective will objectives, if when it is clear, then it helps you in choosing the right kind of media. Okay, and what kind of how what are the strategies you would like to use it, and how long the timeline, everything you are going to consider, and you're going to implement that plan. Okay, so then finally after implementing, you have to see that evaluation, you see that how it's happening, the results you have to measure, because most important is measuring the results. You have to see any changes, any modification, or sometimes you whole thing you have to change it, and you have to come out with a new strategy or a new promotion activity or new advertisements. That also need to be done based on the feedback. And this from here onwards, we are going to discuss about media evaluation. Media evaluation is in the syllabus. You find broadcast media and print media they are mentioned, but I would be covering all, because we know that print media and all is very traditional form of media, which we now also it's relevant. And broadcast media, here we are going to discuss about what are the benefits, advantages, why it's advisable to go for broadcast media, why it is good, the print media is good, why we should. So a lot of things come under each one. So let's discuss about one after the other, and there is a separate material also. At the end, we'll go there. We'll go and discuss that. Okay. See, evaluation of the broadcast media. So we know that broadcast media is television and the radio. Okay. So you have to see that before I finalize. Okay, I have a media plan. Okay, I'm a company. My company is that I planned everything. I have a advertising objective. I have a task, communication task I have prepared, and I want the results to be happening because the objectives I have set. I want the results. Then here, the most important thing, you are planning for a media planning. When you're doing it, you have to choose like what I'm going to do. See, whether should I go with the broadcast media? Should I choose the television? Should I choose the radio? Or should I choose the both? So not only in the television also you have to decide whether you are going with international channels, national channels, local channels, regional channels. Okay, that is also you have to see, and which in there are different kind of kinds are there. Probably the sports channel is there, children's channel is there, science background channel is there. So there are plenty of channels which are available. So it's like it's all need to be decided, because why these are very important, because your product, your services, the kind of company you are, and the kind of money, see advertisement budgeting. So everything matters. After considering all these factors, you need to evaluate that, to consider those also. Example, how much money I need to set aside for my advertisement. So if you choose that broadcast media only dominant, I want that more my advertisement should happen with the broadcast media, that is also with the national prominent channels. Then you can imagine that how much money you have to spend. And many cases, advertising channels will help you. Advertising agencies will help you in finding out the preparing a budget and telling that what will be the cost per second cost, the slot you have chosen, a lot of things, how long your like your ads need to be telecasted, telecast. So all those things makes big difference in finalizing your budget in there. So it's very important. Look at why you need to evaluate. See, before I select particular media, you need to analyze that media. Okay, the company need to analyze that media. Okay, because your success of the promotion or advertisement depending on that, because properly uh, rational thinking should go behind it while doing the or deciding the your media. So that's the reason it's like media evaluation. So under the broadcast media, television and radio, let's look at the television. So on the left side you could see the first column, second column, which talks about the advantage, and the next column talks about the disadvantages of it. So when you look at the television, so it says that mass coverage, correct? And nowadays, you know that the reach, of the television channels is everywhere. Television. So every household has a TV, and even everybody has a cable connection as well as either your dish connections. It's available. So we hardly find, even in the rural area also, the televisions are penetrated. So it's like a mass coverage. If you are looking at that, your ad need to reach to the mass coverage. So it's advantage. Television gives you that mass coverage and high reach. See, another advantage is high reach. Okay, impact of sight, sound, and motion. So what is another one? The reach is also good, and another advantage is that the impact. Because when you are looking at the TV, the kind of advertisement you're going to see, you're going to listen, you're going to see, remember that motions, movements or whatever, the people who are there, everything. Okay, because we have studied in the previous chapter also. In now also, you are going to study that what are the different methods or types of advertisements is done. What are the elements in that you are going to see that whether it's emotional or whether it's humorous advertisements you are going to do or social relevant advertisement you are going to do. So it's all creative things. I know ads are going to make a mark in the minds of the consumers. So it has a huge impact, the music, everything with related to the advertisement. So television has an impact. Then high prestige, if you are giving an ad in the, that also goods that, high prestige, you are going to reach out the all in on all the segments, I would say. From the, it's, as I said, it's a mass communication with the prestige level also. If company is giving that, means it's a, very good thing that if your ads are, example, your ads have been telecast in star sports channel, Star Sports. So that means that, like, your product must be good. People think that, okay, if somebody could able to give advertisement in the very reputed channel, that means the brand is also very good or reputed. The people will remember, and people, whenever they get the chance, that they might buy that those products, your products. So prestige, high prestige, low cost per exposure, because this I said, no, one of the drawback, terminologies in the previous slide, in the last class we discussed. So low cost per exposure. So if you consider what money you are spending on television might be high, but just find, like, just imagine how many crores of people you are going to reach at a time. Okay, so that makes difference, because though you have spent a huge money like on advertisement on the television, but end of the result is that how much you're going to reach out to the mass people, mass consumers. Okay, the few crores of consumers are going to be reached at a single time. So that is per cost viewers. If you consider that, cost will come down. Attention getting. So TV means usually the more attention. People give attention to it, and people give importance to it. Some, usually the television channel advertisements, everybody likes usually. Everybody, many cases there is people will change, but still one or the other way people are going to see and remember. So attention, it's grabs the attention of the consumers. Okay, and favorable image, as I said, like brand image will be, highlighted very much. It's like it creates a most good image of the brand or a company, because that's, like choosing a television is always has that advantage. Okay, so that's most important, which need to be. So these are the advantages of for television. And obviously you have to look at the what's the negative side of it. Low selectivity. Okay, what is the low selectivity? Why we call it as a low selectivity? You might say that all are, watching TV, and you might say, no, no, there may not be, because there is a chance that people might choose only few channels. Okay, people might use only a few channels, or rest all they may not be interested. Okay, rest they may not. Some people will watch only sports channels. Others, no. There is a chance that there is a selectivity. Unless you go in multiple channels, you know so that's going to be ad, because only a certain group of consumers are going to see your ad. Then comes a short message life. The message life will be very short. Okay, very short, because I see the advertisement will be telecasted probably for 15 seconds, 20 seconds. Within that, the communication, the ad need to be aired, because the every next extra second will have a cost. The every company would like to see that uh, the advertisement is at just 10 seconds, 15 seconds. Within that, you have to communicate whatever. So short message. Many cases, people may not, consumers may not understand what you're talking about. Okay. Then high absolute cost. No, exact cost. If you consider absolute cost will be very high compared to any other media. Television channel cost is the cost of advertising in televisions are very very high. Okay, so that is absolute cost. What is the real the full cost? So high production cost, because that will add to high production cost. Even see, not that. See, example, you want to uh, create a promo. You need to shoot. Okay, when you want to shoot, obviously you are tying up with advertising agency, and advertising agency will accordingly collect the money from you, because to create a shoot, create a one ad. So there might be people. There is a creative team is involved, videography, full. The full team will be there, and the whole cost will go in few lakhs or sometimes crores. The location you are choosing, the everything. If you are taking a brand ambassador, you can imagine how many crores you are going to spend. So that also, the production cost to produce the ad also high. To produce the ad for the television channel is also high. Then the clutter. So clutter, we discussed that how many advertisements a customer sees in a given time or in a day or whatever you can. So televisions means you can imagine from morning to evening, or if you are watching a movie for 3 hours, in 3 hours probably, or 4 hours put together, because 3 hours movie and almost another 40-45 minutes you're going to watch only up to 1 hour. Sometimes you're going to watch only advertisements. When you are going to watch advertisement, you can how many advertisements can you remember? That is a negativity. That's one negative part of it. So that's a clutter which creates. The retention part of the consumer side will be less. Okay, then look at the radio. So radio nowadays, not only on a traditional Akashvani, we are depending on a lot of private channels. Radios have come, FM channels have come up throughout the India. So every city, every district wise, you find a lot of FM channels. So you look at what is the advantage: local coverage, obviously, low cost, high frequency, flexible, low production cost, and well segmented audiences. So what do you see? Local coverage. Obviously, when you're looking at the Mangalore Akashvani example, I could say that it covers whole Dakshin Kannada up to Udupi, up to its Puttur, and such a big area. It covers. Okay, so imagine, see, and the cost of the ad will be not very expensive. Here also, your ad will go 15 seconds, 20 seconds, 30 seconds, depend on that. Ad duration. You have to pay the money and the time slot you have taken. So your prices might vary, but still compared to television is much very lower. And you can reach out to your example, your business is local, then you can reach out to directly local consumers. So low cost, as I said, high frequency, because frequency will be high, not like the television, because probably you can choose 5, 10 times or 20 times per day. Your advertisement will be aired. So the cost will not come so much, in even FM channel like big your big FM or Radio Mirchi or any other private channel. So there are many people who are listening every day. Okay, even the reach is also 40 kilometers. In example, if you consider Mangalore, so 40, 50 or up to 60 kilometers. Sometimes you get radio, FM radio, frequency, band frequency. So that means it's good. You are reaching out to all those consumers, and everybody is listening nowadays. So low production cost. Example, to develop a ad, it's only oral ad, no. So you are going to, with the background music, it's going to be read out. So the production cost is very low. Many cases, what happens? These FM channels will, in that cost only it will come. They don't charge you separately for creating ad. Okay, so that is another advantage. And well segmented audience. You know that segment wise you can reach out. Okay, so you know that major particular segment, youngsters are more hooked to FM radios. So you know that who you target. You know that your segment is local area. It's very easy for you to reach out using the FM radio. So radio, it makes a big difference. You want to reach out to the rural people, rural consumers or farmers. So Akashvani, all those, yeah, radio, any FM. So you can, through that you can give ad. So probably it will reach. So here, disadvantage, if you look at this is all evaluation. I might be discussing what is the feature, advantage, and disadvantage. It is the itself is the evaluation. You got to assess which one is good, what are its benefits, what are its negatives. Audio only, okay, it's only audio. Then clutter, I said. Sometimes 10 minutes without non-stop you get ads in the FM radio, 10, 12 minutes. And in 12 minutes, probably around 25 brands ad they give. If this is the kind is given, then how much the consumer is going to listen? Huh? So that is a problem. And low attention rating getting. So people will be not very much attentive in listening. Immediately the ad comes, they might switch to another FM channel, so that's how it happens. Okay, so it's like a fleeting message. So it like message is like it's continuous. Okay, it's transferable, it transfers. Okay, so that's the reason it's like one, I would say that it's regularly sometimes you find that you do not want to listen. Okay, so it's a regular and the similar, there is no variation, and obviously only message is involved, no, there is no view. So people may not be so interested in to that. And some cases also advantage, because there is a people imagine, because advantage, one more advantage of the radio is that you just give ad, you're going to listening that ad, immediately you start imagining, because the reason is that uh, you are not able to see like television, which is like a reality. Here your imagination increases. The consumer, because of that, consumers imaginations improves, they will imagine and they will try to remember, okay, this ad I listen. So you will imagining, so this showroom has opened in so and so, and all these materials are available, I require, we request this offer is, all these things they talk about, they announce in the radio. So obviously you start imagining that all. Okay, through that also there is a reason that the consumers might remember your ad. So that's advantage. And okay, next look at the print media. In the print media, you have magazines as well as newspaper. We considered newspapers and all traditional method of advertising. So in the media selection, a company can select whether they would like to choose print media. Please remember, a company might choose all, whatever in this unit we are going to discuss now. A company might use everything, all the media. A company might use one also, just one. Example, a local company might feel that I would like to give advertisement only in a newspaper. Fine, that's how. But before you select that, so these are the evaluation need to be done. So let's look at the magazine. So when you look at the magazine, you look at the segmentation potential, quality reproduction, high information content, longevity, and multiple readers. Okay, magazine. What is it? Because we have seen there are a lot of magazines are available, like Week, Frontline, Business World, Autocar. Segment wise, you could see there are magazines are there. Okay, so it's one advantage is segmentation potential. You know that Week magazine, example Week magazine, which is every weekly magazine. Every week you get magazine, and it's a very general magazine which covers Indian as well as international, all the news like newspaper. Like it includes your political, your cinema, your entertainment, your business, your so many articles it covers. Okay, international news. So every week. So there are a big number of subscribers are there for that. And you feel that this is the right kind of magazine for me to reach out to, for my product to reach out. So good, you can go with that. Okay. Example, you find some of the cases you find there are a lot of college ads in a week magazine, because obviously there are a lot of people, because all colleges subscribe, normal individual home people like subscribe, officers subscribe, everywhere common people, anybody can read the week magazine. Okay, so that's the reason the high subscription. Everybody at home, like your father, mother, or even college-going students, anybody can read that magazine. So in that cases, we are highly recommended that to target your consumers who, like, if you want admissions. So there are people who are going to read this magazine. So your college ad will be there. So that's the reason. Okay, quality reproduction. So why? Because the quality of the magazines will be usually will be better than the newspapers, because the magazine quality, the quality of the ad, and in many cases what happens, uh, you can you know once you can use, you see, once you get the magazine, you're not going to throw it like a newspaper. So one day you read the newspaper, next day newspaper will go to the used for many cases for daily purpose or other reasons, cleaning, all those things, but if you buy a magazine, probably that will be there for a week or 10 days or 15 days. You're not going to throw out, you're going to keep with you whenever you want to go back and read till you might read that whole week, all those things. So quality reproduction, that happens. And high information content, the content will be good. Longevity, I said, like the longevity means it will not be thrown immediately. Your magazines will be there a month or 2 months at home, or you're going to keep till all 1 year magazines are you collected. Then later you might sell it. So if you want to use that example reproduction, I said, like you can take the articles from there, you can reproduce, you can once again use it. Cut the article, you can keep it with you because the quality of the paper, everything will be good. Okay, so and multiple readers, because anybody can, as I said, anybody, and there are different segments of the as the like business magazines are there. If example somebody who is into very interested in auto car related, automobile industry related, so you can buy auto car, drive, there are magazines. Okay, if company want to sell automobile related products, then the company can advertise in those kind of magazines, because those who are buying that magazines, who are there, who are those consumers, those who are the consumers who are buying the interested in automobile sector or vehicles. So obviously that's going to be a right kind of magazine where they can showcase their ads. Okay, so it's multiple readers. Then comes, even if you look at the your if you go to see a doctor's clinic, you find week or certain normal magazines will available. It is not just normal people are going to, everybody whoever comes there would like to read that, because that's the reason it's not meant for only one, multiple readers. And okay, what are the disadvantages? Long lead time for the ad placement. The reason is that it is not easy to get a slot in the magazines. Some cases there is a huge demand, so in that case they have a restriction of the pages also, magazines. In those cases, what happens? You may not get a slot. Example, I want my ad should be appearing in immediately after 2 weeks. Okay, so there may not be in advance. Also, sometimes you have to book, because some cases your advertisement you are going to give it at the last moment decided. In that case and all, that it's very difficult to get the slot for your ad. Here it comes a visual only, because obviously some cases visual and something, nothing more than that it conveys, like a broadcast media. Only you have to is visual and you have to read it. Okay, so that, okay, need to be considered. Okay, next comes, you could see lack of flexibility. Flexibility is something, usually I mean to say that as your wish. Okay, you cannot keep on changing the things. Once you are given, it's gone. Okay, and immediately cannot remove. Okay, say example, uh, television ad, you have given television ad, and immediately you felt like I want to change that. Immediately you have to prepare one more ad, and you can tell that you stop that ad and you replace with that. But it is once prepared and printed and gone, means you cannot get back. Some wrong information has gone, something has gone, you just cannot withdraw. That flexibility is not there, lack of flexibility. Once it's printed, gone, distributed. Once again, you cannot get back that magazines. Okay, so wrong information or something which is not good might reach out. Okay, so that is there. Okay, and you have a content restriction, because one page, half page, like that only. You cannot go with multiple pages. A lot of issues are there, lack of flexibility. Okay, then look at the newspaper advertisement media. Okay, media, you're choosing under print media, you're choosing a newspaper, so high coverage, low cost, short lead time for placing ads. Okay, so if you want to place an ad, you can just next 2 3 days, after 3 days you want to, so just you have to talk to them. So they will see that the space is available. Usually you will get it. You will get it. Okay. So ads can be placed in intention section, interest sections, wherever you want. Because in the newspaper also there are segments. Agree? If you open a business line newspaper, if you open any front page will be national news they give. In the inside local news they give, and the next they'll give you about the other state, other see each one, and one segment will be the per sports will be there one page, and one is fully ad classifieds will be there. Okay, and the last page also add there, like there's depends, where you would like to wish to see that your ad will appear. Timely, because under advantage is timely you can go. Okay, example, after 3 days I want to change the ad anytime, you go and approach within 2 3 days, go with a new ad, new poster, you can publish that. Okay, so the timely ads could be given in the newspaper. Readers controls the exposure. Okay, reader has a control over it, because he can spend time to read, because once the paper comes to his hand, so what happens? Okay, you will be looking at that and reading it. Okay, and it takes the time. There is no restriction of the time. Okay, so that advantage is also is there. And reader at home, everybody, like not only one reader is going to read, but many members in the family are going to read. In the public places you can keep, in the offices you can keep your newspapers, all everywhere, because there are multiple people, you go to different kinds of people who are going to see. Okay, these are the advantages, are there. You look at the last one, can be used for coupons. You must have seen the ad appearing in a newspaper, and there is in the bottom, it is been mentioned that please cut this coupon and get that, you will get so much of discount. So can be used for coupons. This as a coupons. Okay, so that is also there. That will make the, highly recommended, because those who are buy the newspapers, or there one coupon is again, cut this piece of coupon and get it to our company, you will get so much of discount if you give. There are many people will cut that coupon and take it and take that one, whatever benefit which is available with them. So that's advantage. Then disadvantage: short life, clutter, low attention getting capabilities, poor reproduction quality, selective reader exposure. So what do you look at in the short life? Obviously, today's newspaper is all I am very much interested to read today, and I lose interest reading tomorrow. Okay, that's the reason. I don't want to read yesterday's newspaper. Usually, I don't like, because I want to read the best and the latest one. So one day also pass by means it's old only for me. Usually, I do not want to read. So clutter. Clutter is one more, is that it's that's the reason we call it a short life. Clutter is something where you see that the whole page full of ads, classifieds. There are so many ads that you have to search, and you might just can't able to identify and see the proper ad. That is one more problem. Then low attention getting capabilities. So see, because of too many ads are there, too much information is filled in the newspaper. In 10 pages, there are so many news, everything, and your ad is also appearing. Who bothers? Many cases, people who don't like to see ad at all, they are very much bothered of reading newspapers. On what news is there. Okay, they will read. So this is another issue. Okay. Then once again, you look at the selective reader exposure. Okay, so poor reproduction quality. So there is once again, using will be less. Usually, paper will be thrown within few days. Okay, so reproduction, it will not be reused, or for various references will not be kept. Okay, so that is a problem. Okay, so they may not keep it. Reproduction quality is low. Then selective reader exposure. Selective reader. Yes. See example, Kannada. Regional newspapers, Hindi newspapers are there. Local newspapers are there. State level newspapers are there. So unless you give your ads in all the different newspapers, then you are not going to reach out to all. If you are going to select, example, I am going to select only Vijay Karnataka, Kannada. Okay. Then who only selective, you are going to reach out to all those people who are only reading Vijay Karnataka. Okay. Then what happened? Rest all who are reading other newspapers, you are not able to connect them. You are not able to create an awareness. You are not able to show them an ad. Gone. So that's the reason this selective reader exposure is another negativity of the newspapers. Unless you go with a full pledge, because in India there are thousands of newspapers are there. Are you able to give that? Are you even in the local only? There are few newspapers are there. Okay, so it is only you're going to select who has the highest subscription level. Example, in Dakshin Kannada, Udayavani is the highest number of subscription. Consumers who buy. Few lakhs people subscribe Udayavani. Like Udayavani means, if my business only in Mangalore or something, which I can give, okay, Udayavani. But there are similar another 4 lakh or 3 lakh people who are depending on other newspapers, but you are not given an ad in that. So what it means? So you are missing out those consumers. Okay, so that's a negative. Next comes the support media in advertisement. Okay, so support media is includes so many things. Okay, several titles. Some of them are alternative media, non-measured media, and non-traditional media. Okay, these terms describe the vast variety of channels used to deliver the ad. Okay, so you want to communicate to the consumer. There are different methods which you are going to use. okay, through which you would like to reach out to the consumer, which is different from this. What I mean to say, broadcast media, print media, interactive media. One more, which includes your internet, websites, social media, other things. Okay, support media is apart from all this, this is one is separate because it could be done whenever you want according to your things. So these are the few things you could see that are segregated into two. Out of the home advertising, so it includes outdoor, like you could see there billboards, big uh, billboards will be there, on the highways and all in the cities, hoardings. So these all comes under support media. Okay, you find that the vehicles, in the vehicles, they have full ad, and that vehicle is moving around in the city, announcing all those things. Also comes under this. Okay, so support media, yellow pages. Okay, place-based media, because particular location-wise you are segregating digital LED displays on the towers or buildings and all. Sometimes over there you are giving ads. Okay, point of purchase. Example, your shop is there, your branch is there. In the branch only, on the front you have a LED display or the poster, something big cut out you have kept. So at where you are selling, there itself you are advertising. Okay, movie theaters. You know that in the movie theater, before the movie starts, even in the interval period, they give around 10 to 15 minutes ad, no, different kinds of ads. So that is all support media. Okay, and various other forms are there, like um, announcements. Okay, announcements, all those things. So these all come under out of home advertising. Okay, then in store media includes everything like displays, banners, shelf signs. Okay, point of purchase materials including videos, displays, LED, everything which is there with your shop is also become, because these are all the support media. We say that some are totally outside the branch and outside, and some are in house within the near to branch, near to the everywhere. Okay, these are all. So these are all as comes under support media. So I have left with 1 minute now, not even 1 minute. So I think we'll discuss. Okay, another 2 hours I might require to complete this unit. Okay, so any doubts you can send me the messages or whatever, and we'll meet once again in the next class. I think